Hi, I'm Saren.
And I'm Ray.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics. Gimme, gimme.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to make sure you know all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on all new episodes of Wade's World, Boob Windows and Long Boxes, our Hard R movie reviews, and so much more, all completely uncensored. Access starts for as little as $1 a month, full videos when you pledge $3 a month. Check us out at the link in all of our show notes, or just go straight to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I'm here for Peter.
Hello, kids. Welcome back to another Doc October episode. I am Phil. Joining me as always, it is Lilith Hellfire.
Hey, y'all.
And our special guest, because of course we had to talk to him about this issue, Mr. Charlie Esser.
Charlie, the Professor Esser.
I'm sorry.
With an intellect second only to Dr. Octopus.
Suck it, Doom. Suck it, Reed Richards.
Yes.
So, Doom. Finally get into Doom.
That dropout. Don't mention his name.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Lil, that at the end of that Guardians of the Galaxy issue last night, man, of course, what did he do? He tried to steal some of Dormammu's power and stored it in his armor.
Yeah, that's why you gotta love Doom. He's so pathetic, it's endearing.
He's like a klepto, man. He has to steal, but he just tries to steal people's powers.
Yeah, well, you know, he has this idea that he's going to save the universe someday. And, he did once. So good for him. Mm-hmm. It's like, you pulled it off.
Are we sure that wasn't a Doom bot?
It was they're all Doom bots at this point, Lilith. It's not been a real Dr. Doom in like 30 years. I'm not even sure he survived the explosion in the lab, quite frankly.
Oh. He never...
You know what? I'll accept that headcanon.
It's just been Doom bots all the way down.
He never came back from Tibet. All right.
So, did you say what issue we were reading today, Phil?
I don't believe so, but yes, of course, we're doing Dr. Octopus. We had to do Amazing Spider-Man 130.
October!
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 131 from April 1974.
Were you alive, Charlie?
Of course I was. I was born in January 1974.
Oh, just barely. Just barely.
I remember it well. It was a dark time. And my little...
He was crapping his pants.
4-month-old brain just knew they're going to blow up that island, aren't they?
Oh my god! But just did everyone see the title of this one? My uncle, my enemy.
Yeah, well, Mephisto confirmed.
Oh,
yeah. It's interesting because as time has played out, they do play that actually Otto kind of had feelings for May, Which I think is held up in just the fact that he is very protective of her here. Much in the same way that, Peter is protective of her. And that idea that, her frail, fragile heart, which is just like, honestly, this woman is going to explode at any minute, I fear. And,
we've been doing that since issue 39, and I'm just like, can she just die already, please?
We tried that.
60 years.
No, we're selling marriages to the devil to keep her alive at this point.
Yeah,
and that's how you know it's Uncle Ben. He's like, no, keep her up there.
No, see, I think
this is my bachelor pad. Keep her up there.
It is. But I actually do think there could be this idea of Doc Ock and Aunt May having some kind of a connection, And hey, we know
it's canon that they don't touch on, because even in Into the Spider-Verse, where Aunt May and Doc Ock is a female, they have some vibes, bro. So I'm just saying, it's canon. People just don't want to bother with it.
Oh, yeah. And, Yeah, I know. You get that vibe very strongly. That, you know, in fact, she's
been living in this mansion since 1:15. You know, I don't think she's been living in the Doc Ock mansion for 15, 16 issues at this point. So,
how does Peter not pick up on that kind of stuff?
Because he's a teenager.
Yeah. Stan in his hyphens. Teenager.
Yeah. You know,
Pete's a little dense. To be fair, you know, he's so brilliant sometimes, but most of the time he's pretty dense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying, you know, some of my favorite scenes in this are the party scenes.
Nobody knows how to throw a party like Spider-Man, whether it's the penthouse.
Well, at least when he's not there, you know. I mean, the actual Betty Brant's Christmas party, you know, with J. Jonah Jameson and Joe Robertson and Ned Leeds. Ned Leeds is evil.
Not have been a swingers party.
Oh, it was. Well, yeah, until J. Jonah starts talking and
ruins it, man.
Yeah, he kills the mood, man. I think everyone was like all down for it until like said, "Wait, is J. Jonah's keys in the bowl? I don't know if I want to do this if J. Jonah's keys are in the bowl."
Who wants to see the mustache?
Oh goodness me! Boy, publisher,
no.
J. Jonah Jameson.
No, no, J.K.
I kind of like that we start Mesray, like we're acting. He's like, he just shows up. He's like, oh,
yeah.
What?
Yes. Well, you know, he is J. Jonah Jameson, and he is a loudmouth schmuck. He's in the middle of his story that is apparently a circular story because it starts with, you know, no one knows New York like I told the mayor, no one knows New York like J. Jonah Jameson. Then it ends with, and I told him no one knows New York like. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's in a loop. He's in an infinite loop. He can't stop. It's like he's an animatronic J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah Jameson bots. That's the conspiracy we haven't explored yet.
This way, anything's possible in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but no. I do want to touch on, and I know it's not what people came here for, but the drama, because this is taking place just shortly after Gwen Stacy's death, at least from the character's perspective.
Yeah, about 10 issues or so. Yeah,
and you know, Mary Jane is like, I guess, kind of a rebound, maybe, but Ned is like,
she can't force herself to love Peter because she does feel like a rebound.
He's square.
Yeah,
he's square.
Well, you know, it's interesting on a lot of levels, but like I said, what really hit me was how Ned Leeds is totally not down with Mary Jane taking Gwen Stacy's place. And I think kind of is like that voice of the nerd fans who says, no, Gwen Stacy wasn't important. People still say Gwen Stacy was important.
Well, Jerry did write this issue, so it's like, you killed her, buddy. You had your chance. You blew it.
You know.
You wanted to make a splash. Hell. Now deal with it.
Threw off a bridge, made a splash.
Yeah.
It was a snap decision, some might say.
Who do you think you are, man?
Yeah. And, you know, ironically, she might have survived if she just hit the water. Although, actually, if
Pete.
I know she's going head first. I don't know.
That headband, that indestructible headband, though.
True.
Well, what it is she's unconscious, so her body's just going to fold. The real threat is drowning.
Yeah.
But actually, if you look, she actually would have hit an embankment on the bridge because it's like you see that she's just above something, so she wouldn't have hit the water anyway. So, the Goblin doesn't mess around, you know.
Especially when he thought she had his kid. Which has been retconned away.
He was running high, man. He thought he was the man at that point.
Again, it was all Doombots all the way down. It's just, I'm perfectly content to believe that honestly, no one exists in the Marvel universe. That Reed Richards just built a bunch of robots, and it's like, since everyone died after my rocket flight, and I crashed into the Earth and destroyed it, I'll just rebuild everything. And That's a whole.
Oh my god! Watch that happen in another 10 years when they're looking to do a refresh.
One more reboot. But anyway,
I just want to say this is how you use Hammerhead. I'm just gonna say it. Just let him be Hammerhead. Don't fight it. Just go with the flow.
Yeah, don't try to reboot him. Don't try
He's
to
a
be.
goon, I tell you.
Don't try to be fancy with him. Yeah, just just point him in.
I just find it weird that everyone's committing to this plan without knowing what the valuable thing is. It's like there's a MacGuffin, and he's
Yes,
after
we're doing
it.
Casablanca, Spider-Man style.
He's after it because he's after it only because Ock's after it, and he doesn't know what it is, but he knows that pocket dame's the key, and it's just like, is this really worth your investment of helicopters, specialty helicopters too?
I mean, that would be a trope, but from here to 200, because even like around 200, like Mysterio was like kidnapped Aunt May because like supposedly she was sitting on this big fortune, but it was like, was it like bootlegging money or something? But she's like, oh yeah, man, the rodents got to that years ago, man. That's all gone.
We never talk about Aunt May's shady past and why she looks like Al. She was a spy. I'm just saying, she was a spy.
She looks like Blind Al.
I just think she was, she just enjoyed. She had a lot of gangster boyfriends. That's well established. That's what the guy was looking for when he broke into the Parker's house.
Oh!
That money, not Aunt May.
She's a honeypot, I tell you. A honeypot.
It's a trap.
But yeah, so, it's crazy.
Hold on, let me read some. What?
Who puts paper money into a wall in Queens? That place floods
the rats are gonna get it. Yeah.
Well, it's a very moist. It's kind of on aquifers. It's like New Orleans North. It's really not a good place if you're going to have anything that's going to be preserved. New York's built on a swamp. I mean,
everything's built on cursed land. I mean,
yeah.
Whatever was left got spent back in the day on first web shooters.
Microscopes.
And web shooters.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, I was going to read.
What are you looking up, Phil?
I was going to read the synopsis, and we can talk about some of these points. I'll see if we missed anything. Rushing to the estate of Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man arrives just in time to see that his arch-nemesis is about to get married to his Aunt May. Before Spider-Man can react, Hammerhead and his goons bust in on the marriage with guns blazing. Octopus fights off some of Hammerhead's men and manages to make an escape with Aunt May through a secondary exit. Spider-Man intercepts them and tries to stop Octopus from getting away, but he's knocked out. Octopus then makes his escape with May in a helicopter. Witnessing this, Hammerhead and his men decide to follow after Octopus in the helicopter they arrived in themselves. Spider-Man, reviving from his blow from Dr. Octopus, secretly hitches a ride aboard Hammerhead's copter. Okay, before I keep going, so, man, Ock had a helicopter, man, ready to whisk them away to that honeymoon.
Yeah, well,
it was probably inside of a volcano.
He had an underground hangar for his helicopter. Let's be clear here. I'm more fascinated by the fact that Hammerhead had a Hammerhead helicopter
Mafia money,
with ramming capabilities.
Mafia money.
He stole it from the Air Force.
Mafia money.
I gotta feel like they were thinking, man, we have got to get some toy money in this. They were like, we need to design things that we can sell as toys.
Yeah.
Well, is this the point where Sam was over in Japan trying to make that Spider-Man Sentai thing a thing?
1974?
So maybe it's very well possible. They came out, 78? So this is very possible they're thinking toys and merchandising at this point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be... I mean, also, this is when the Spider-Man TV show comes out. We've got... I mean, not quite yet on the Hulk show. But yeah, this was when they were started doing all the work.
I would kill for a Hammerhead helicopter. Come on, McFarlane Toys. Come through. We need the money. Gimme.
Yeah. Hammerhead. I don't know. He is no Mountain Marco. That's all I'm going to say about Hammerhead.
Well, he tried to mess with him over the years. He's a guy, got hit on the head, literally got a steel plate put in his head, and now he thinks he's like a 1930s gangster.
Except he's still leading with his head. That's the thing. It's like, usually when people get a steel plate in the head, that's a bad thing, and you don't want to hit the head against stuff.
We didn't say it was a good doctor that did it. He crossed some wires, obviously. And besides, neurons are obviously misfiring.
And besides,
I get the feeling it was Dr. Malice who did this.
And besides, I think isn't it like adamant? Isn't it like an adamantium plate or something?
I think now it is. Yeah. Now it's an adamantium skull, and I think this is like
his neck must be super strong if that's the case.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like what they did with Bullseye's and adamantium vertebrae. They can do that. They can do that Wolverine thing just on a very small scale. You got to be like an actual Wolverine to survive the whole body infusion. But they can do it like they can just like make your skull adamantium if you want.
I think
costs extra,
I think we've slowly retconned that Bullseye thing. Oh, maybe that's why they're doing the thing in Daredevil now, like cloning them 100 times, because they were gonna retcon that adamantium.
They were tired of that little, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, how do you clone adamantium? I don't know.
Okay, I did not like Mary Jane to start. Let's be honest, because she talks about herself in the third person. I did not enjoy that when I was discovering Mary Jane, okay? MJ loves a party.
Lilith Hellfire does not
conceited.
Lilith Hellfire does not like that.
Exactly.
Yes, because speaking back at Ned Leeds' Christmas party, Mary Jane realizes that Peter has ditched her. While Ned and Betty Brand point out that Peter seems to be adjusting to her attention pretty well, in spite of the fact that Gwen recently died. Mary Jane feigns any desire to be in a relationship, leaves the couple, and Joe Robertson puts in his 2 cents to them about Peter being stable enough to make his own decisions.
Has he ever met Peter Parker?
Who?
Yeah. Joe Robertson. Does he actually know this guy?
He sees him for 20 minutes a day, once a week. He doesn't know what's going on.
You know what it is? He shows up with Spider-Man pictures. That's his job. He does his job.
And when
at that point, Joe Robertson doesn't
even though they're blurry, he still got the only pictures of Spider-Man in town, baby.
And when he first showed up, he wore a suit and tie. He was a polite young man.
Betty keeps telling me he's such a great guy.
I always thought the Betty Brant Peter dynamic really should have always been much better explored. That's just my thing.
Well, they kind of rushed that whole thing because he was out of high school by what was it, issue 30 something? And
yeah. Meanwhile, he's never even attempted a PhD.
Well, I think they said even back then they're like, oh, I don't think these comic books, especially this Spider-Man's, going to last past the 70s. So hey, let's just do it all now.
And now we have a sliding time scale where every movie we do, he gotta be in high school.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the story starts.
At least Toby's got to see college. That's all I'll say about that.
Well, the biggest problem with any of those things is just the fact that,
how could they know?
Back in the 60s, a 18, 19-year-old secretary was a thing. Yeah. So the age gap wasn't so crazy when he's 16-year-old Peter and she's 18-year-old. Yes, I know, still legal. Although technically I think in New York it's still age of consent, so I think it's okay. It's not that weird there. But as time has gone on, and now Betty Brant is like a, reporter, went to journalism school, all these things, everything gets a lot more muddled, especially because, as happens, Peter continues to age, whereas Betty Brant stays the same age for a while, and then until they meet up in the middle.
As all women do.
Well, it's just. At a
certain point, you just get to your forever age, and it is what it is.
There you go.
Ask Padme.
You and Aquafina.
Oh my god.
There's a whole thing with Aquafina in one of her episodes where it's like she can be a 12-year-old, she can be a 40-year-old. I have no idea how old she is.
Oh my.
That was the one with Michelle Buteau.
That's like
I'm sorry.
That's like
I like Nora from Queens.
I've never seen Nora from Queens. Yeah, I've never seen that show.
It's crazy. It's fun. And the second season is even crazier. So I got a feeling the second season's going to have some kind of it was all a dream thing. So
if you like Nora from Queens, though, you should check out Kim's Convenience on Netflix. Since we're here,
which of course, which I've already watched, and yes, it's
sweet. So
fantastic. I know. That's a great show as well. It's
just for anybody who else is listening that hasn't seen it. It's a great show. Okay.
Despite all the anger about the last season and whether or not,
While high in the air.
It's Netflix.
Yeah. Well, it's CBC, actually, and it's actually the creators of the show, so.
All right. While high in the air, Hammerhead's helicopter follows Doc Ock in the Canadian airspace. So we're getting the Canadians into this. There they are led to an island.
Where's Wolverine? Where's the Hulk?
I know. Well, they're led to an island.
Hulk's always in Canada.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what that's how this whole thing started. Remember, he was in Canada looking for the Hulk. To an island off the coast of Canada, to a nuclear facility which has been inherited by Aunt May following the death of a relative. The whole
Which relative?
I know. They're always like, oh, it's just her and Peter after Ben died. Meanwhile, again, and they go into this, after Brand New Day, she has like relatives in Boston. It's like, where were they?
Of course, Boston pizza owners, baby.
Well, they don't care about May. She's the black sheep of the family. She went off, married that guy, Ben Parker.
Boy.
Yeah, that Parker boy, and for all we know, he might even be a Catholic. So it's not acceptable among May's family.
That's where the money came from. She married one of the Parker brothers.
Oh, is that why Uncle Ben looks like the Monopoly man?
Oh gosh,
Mephisto, the man from the Monopoly game, confirmed.
So I have to assume this is one of the East Coast provinces, probably near Newfoundland, rather than.
I don't think anybody even knew about Canada in the 70s except for Canadians. So it's
possible,
an exotic land to America. Okay?
It's possible this is a northern.
I'd say New Brunswick.
Northern. Well, because it could also be a Great Lakes island, because there are several Canadian Great Lakes islands.
Meanwhile, somewhere above
I just
our
don't know any
country?
of them with uranium. That's all.
Somewhere above our great country.
Well, I'm just trying to think of the time, because they're flying helicopters. These aren't Quinjets. So,
what, you're waiting for the Canadian Air Force?
Well, I'm waiting to figure out exactly where they went to. It's logistics, because this is all happening in one night. That party is still going on at the end of this book.
Leave our airspace, eh?
And it did not seem like a rager. That's what I'm saying.
It was a slow burner. It's like, if it's like a Dominican party. You get there at 8 o'clock, you leave at 6 in the morning. It's one of those.
Oh, they're burning
you
something.
Eat, you wait, you dance, you sleep, you talk.
They're burning something.
Yeah, I don't know. This didn't seem like one of Thor's parties. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, my.
Smoked a doobie.
With both crafts landing down, another fight between Dr. Octopus and Hammerhead begins with bullets flying. The shock is too much for Aunt May, who passes out.
As she does.
She's like, I just want to pretend this doesn't happen. After a brief fight with Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man grabs his unconscious Aunt May and flies for New York City in an airplane.
Wait. We're not just gonna speed past the fact that she's in a wedding dress with the fur coat as he's flipping his way downtown. We're not gonna speed past that, okay? It's one of my favorite panels, by the way.
And we've gone into this many times over the years. He can barely drive a car, but he can fly a plane out of here.
No. They make it very clear that this was a special modified cargo jet that even an idiot could fly.
An idiot could fly, yes, exactly.
He hopes.
Thank God.
Actually, flying a plane is, unless you actually want to know what all the little spinning dials do, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to hit another... Like, driving a car isn't hard so long as you're not going to hit anything.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about hitting things in the air except for seagulls, which will actually...
We may have just proven the theory. Lilith, you know how to fly a plane?
Maybe or maybe not. I cannot confirm or deny.
And we know you have trouble...
It's a little...
And we know you have trouble. We know you have trouble in automobiles. Okay, theory confirmed.
I don't have trouble. Other people have trouble around me. Okay.
Well, don't distract them.
And Philip, remember, this is a Stark technology world. You know, that's the thing everyone always forgets. It's like, really, it's like our own world. It's not so much that, oh, here's the flying car. It's like, oh, here's a little square piece of thing on my hand that has all the knowledge of the universe. Okay, who saw that coming? Yeah, but it's the idea that, you know, they've built planes that have, you know, that says takeoff, land, and, you know.
Yeah, Cessnas are super, super simple, actually. The littlest passenger planes.
Yeah, it's always my dream to own a Cessna. That's the dream. But anyway.
It's really like driving like a nice high-end car on the inside, honestly. Like a Tesla, like with all the little dials, is super easy. I don't think they should make it that easy, to be honest. Look at poor Harrison
just don't do
Ford.
it while you're drunk. That's the rule. It's like, you know.
Yeah, Lil.
Again, look at poor Harrison Ford.
Well, anyway, yeah, but they fly back, and that's good. And like I said, they blew up the whole page. And I don't even know why they needed to blow up the thing. And I guess Aunt May still owns all the uranium deposits? That's a breeder reactor.
And she was running a freaking halfway house. Come on, get it together.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that blew up all the uranium. I mean, at most, I don't even know that blew up the building, quite frankly. It looked like a lot of, honestly, that looked like artistic license. You know, when
was smoke and mirrors, it's still there.
Well, it's like when the Thing fights the guy in the metal boots, you know, and it's this whole thing, and then Ben Grimm goes down to Marvel Comics. I knew when we gave you the rights to tell our stories, you guys would over-exaggerate stuff. And it's like, this just seems like, let's just draw a big explosion. Because I don't want to explain how the situation gets resolved.
Exactly. And then they fight. The writer was like, I'm out of ideas. Just draw.
I know. That's what I said. Basically, Spider-Man's out of most of the rest of this issue. It's, meanwhile, you know.
He got his aunt, the only thing he cares about. So, but I just love how Doc Ock's like, no, you fool. You'll destroy us all.
You fool.
Which is
mutual assured destruction. He's never heard of it.
And again, how is this reactor that is so sensitive completely unmanned?
No guards.
Yeah, because it's not like
it's Canada, eh?
You realize that it's Canada. You realize at any point a moose could have come in here, right?
A goose could have flown into whatever.
Exactly. This was just this, and like
I don't think they did the research on nuclear facilities. Let's just be honest. I don't think Jerry cared about the research.
Or Canada.
And who leaves
it's not like he's teaching Chichester with like a whole file of things, okay?
Or Canada.
Even if you want to say that it was mothballed, wouldn't you turn everything off before you left? You know?
Canada's very trusting.
Weren't you supposed to turn off the nuclear reactor? I thought you were going to turn off the nuclear reactor before we left. Whoa, no, now we got to go back, eh? Okay, well, let's go back.
No, we're going to go to Tim Hortons and forget this.
Didn't happen, man.
You tried turning it off and turning it back on?
It's the maritime provinces. Don't forget it, man. It's the maritime provinces.
I mean, honestly, that's how Canada feels.
Yeah. You know, it's...
Poor Newfoundland.
Yeah.
All right, yes, here is exactly what happened. Meanwhile, Dr. Octopus enters the building and is mortified when he learns the facility's primary function is a nuclear breeder. When Hammerhead...
No, he's not. He was excited. He's not mortified.
Yeah, that's what... okay.
Well, okay, they're
he's probably mortified when
around.
Hammerhead starts throwing his head at it.
Yeah, he's mad at it, but he wanted the nuclear reactor. That was the whole point.
Yeah. Couldn't wait for the honeymoon, man. He want to get his hands on Aunt May's sweet reactor.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Hammerhead was all mad.
Breeder. Oh, please.
Because Hammerhead thought it was going to be diamonds and jewels. And immediately within that, it's like, okay, you're chasing
you can
a
control
Super
the power grid. Come on, you mustn't be afraid to dream bigger, darling.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's a smash and grab guy. That is literally Hammerhead's. Why did Hammerhead think he could muscle in on whatever it is Doc Ock is doing? These are not comparable gangsters. Okay. You know, it's like...
Doc Ock's like, I robbed like 2 banks, okay, guy? 2 banks.
Yeah, it's like he's a science thief. He's like always doing tech stuff, and it's like, why would Hammerhead think? I guess it's like, oh, well, he likes to have money. Yeah, everyone likes to have money, but he does the money for research and to live in the lifestyle to which he's become accustomed. But, you know, if he's doing this whole marriage scam, it's not just to get money. He can get money at the bank just like anybody else, you know?
See Spider-Man too.
It's all insured, you know. It's FDIC. You know, that's why bank robbing is such a popular thing for supervillains, because it's a victimless crime except for the people you kill while you're robbing the bank.
We need the money. Gimme.
Anyway, so I don't think he's mortified. He's scared because he's like, oh wow, someone left a breeder reactor on. They left it on and abandoned the facility. Who does that?
Unless they're like, oh hey, the
Canadian OSHA. How are you worse than American OSHA in the Marvel universe?
So they like, oh, the new owner's coming today. Turn it back on.
Dust. We got dust.
Turn the furnace on. He said it's warm when the new owner comes in, eh? I said the furnace, not the reactor.
Goodness, it's. No, you can't turn the furnace off in that area because.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pure 1974, but
it's got a lot of action and a lot of sparkly quantum tentacles.
You almost don't even need Spider-Man in this story. It's just
Well, obviously we don't. He left. He took his way back to the city.
I know.
Well, he's got to get Aunt May out of there. You know, honestly, I would have loved to have seen this. I would love to see the what if Spider-Man just said, "Hey, let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes." Like
She'll reform him.
You know, maybe. Quite frankly, you know, I would love to see the what if where Spider-Man sees Hammerhead coming in and decides to take out the Hammerheads. Hammerhead's crew with their stun bullets, which I love the idea.
Mercy bullets.
I was gonna say, yeah, mercy bullets.
But then they get married, and now Otto's your uncle, and they go there, and then we explore this whole relationship between Doc Ock and May Parker, and it's like, you know, maybe it's a lot of "don't ask me about my business, May." You know, maybe there's a lot of that going on, but maybe there is this thing where it's like, you know what, man? Maybe I don't need to conquer the world.
Oh,
and not to go back to the Spider-Verse movies or anything. I'm just saying, Doc Ock didn't turn evil till his wife died. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, and also the robots.
The chips, but I'm just saying.
You know, well, the thing is Doc Ock's not that bad of a guy. He just, like so many super geniuses in the super genius world, they feel very put upon that no one respects them because they're not, you know, it's your basic problem that if you only get respect for being a superhero or supervillain, why don't you do that?
Jonathan Crane, is that you?
Well, you know.
Yes, I'm sorry to bring up Fear State, Philip. I'm sorry.
No, but it's the truth, you know. It's like no one is giving you the time of day unless you have spandex. If you're not wearing the spandex, no one cares. And so
I love Batman.
You gotta put on the spandex.
Oh, we're living by gym rules now in the Marvel Universe. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, it's the way of the world, my dear friend.
Yeah, for this to be a 70s issue, I find it very fun. I love the dialogue. Usually I am like always rolling my eyes at the 70s dialogue, but this was some deep intercharacteristic interpersonal things going on at that party that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think the party is the best part of the whole book.
And MJ quoting Scarlett O'Hara, because of course she did.
Because tomorrow is another day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This explains so much about Mary Jane, honestly.
Hey, it was the 70s, you know. Gone with the Wind was thought to be a good film back then.
Oh.
I mean, for some people it is.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
I will say the book is better at the very least.
Well, we'll say, you know, most everything is better. But, you know, this book is better.
Oh my!
You know what? Yeah. I mean, the party scenes are what makes it. It always strikes me that as much as writers complain about the romance comics phase, I think they really liked it. Because
John Byrne did.
Yeah, I get the feeling that a lot of people really kind of like, I like writing about Millie the model and and Patsy Walker and all these little like internecine talking stories where the characters are having these psychological adventures rather than punching
psychosomatic. It is Spider-Man, so I had to throw that in.
Yeah, but so I get the feeling that they actually really like those a lot more than they say. They have to be all manly and say, "No, I didn't like writing, girl comics."
Yeah, exactly. Because what is wrestling? Soap on the ropes. Like, come on.
Wrestling is.
Just knock it off.
Exactly. It's all about the drama, about the stories. The big sweaty men hugging each other.
You gotta dress it up for the boys.
The big sweaty men hugging each other is completely secondary to the story we're trying to tell. But yeah, they do get sweaty in wrestling.
And one day we'll come back to the Molten Man. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Molten Man is next issue. I saw that.
There's so many things to plumb in this era. Oh yeah.
I actually wanted to go back and read a bunch of the previous issues and figure out, okay, how long have they been seeding these Easter eggs? Like, when does she first move into the mansion? And
it's like, what is it? Like,
if you really want to start, I'd say, like, 115 is when she moves into the mansion, but right before that, I'd say start at, like, 105.
So, like, that's a year's worth of comics.
Mm-hmm.
And at no time...
Remember back in the day when we didn't rush stuff?
And at this time, does, like, Peter just not know she's with Dr. Otto? It's like, oh, I have a new beau, and he's moved me into his mansion.
Eventually, she does find out, but, it's like his whole, I can't tell where I'm Spider-Man, so I can't pretend I know too much,
So Peter finds out at some point that she's dating Dr. Octopus, but he lets it go.
Doesn't he have a publicly criminal record, though? Like, I'm confused.
I think so, but she, Aunt May.
Well, she's used to the bad boys.
He's still not
exactly. It's like, oh, Otto, you're not the first gangster.
Doctor!
He's still not.
He's not the first gangster she's dated, and honestly, we don't know how Ben Parker bought that house either. I'm just going to say that right now.
And he's still not as bad as that dreadful Spider-Man.
Yes, it's it is what it is.
And man watches Fox News confirmed. It's fine.
And then in issue 119 and 120, Charlie, we covered that. Peter goes to Canada because, there's a message for Aunt May. I guess a lawyer was going to tell her she was inheriting this power plant, so Peter goes to Canada and runs into the Hulk.
And that was a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, because he just wants to be left alone, and Canada's a good place to be left alone.
It really is.
Yeah, really. Honestly, there are towns in Canada that if the Hulk walked down the street, they'd go, "Hi, Hulk." Just leave him alone. It's like no one's gonna freak out. It's like, oh yeah, well, it's not as bad as the moose. Let me tell you, the moose. Those guys cause problems. Yeah. They start eating the crab apples, man. You do not want to be seeing a moose wound up on crab apples.
Oh my. Oh yeah, 2 issues prior to this is the first appearance of the Punisher. Man, he's shooting mercy bullets all over the place.
Yeah.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
He is so bad at his job.
He wasn't actually that bad at his job in that issue.
He didn't kill Spider-Man. I don't know.
He got tricked into working for the Jackal. That's all.
And again, it still could be worse.
Oh my God! So this era, we had the whole thing with Aunt May living with Doc Ock. The Jackals start showing up. There's so much nonsense going on.
So
it was the 70s.
What is it, like 125 or something? Jameson's son shows up as the man wolf. I mean,
So in this idea, so May and Otto were living together in sin, I might point out.
Oh.
for several months.
Well, I think
doesn't she hire him? He hires her to be his cleaning lady.
Oh
and then they just fall in love. Yeah, I remember the parts.
Yeah, at first she was the maid. Oh, he pulled a Schwarzenegger. Oh.
Well, you know what?
No, he's playing that classic fantasy role play. Yeah, I want to stoop the maid.
Yeah. But you know what? Hey, it blossomed into true love. Do not tell me Otto doesn't love that woman.
I don't think
with
those
you.
are Jesus.
And she likes the bad boys. We know that,
Whoa.
We know.
And what if instead of reforming him, she became like a BAMF mafia wife?
Hey, have you seen the covers for Spider-Man Beyond and Doc Ock,
Exactly.
white suit Doc Ock with hot Aunt May, all evil looking.
I'm like, hey, Marissa Tomei is Aunt May right now. Maybe we can channel some of that.
Yeah, let's get some Aunt May is nah, you know what, Otto? You and me, we're gonna take over this city. You understand? Let me tell you how we used to run these scams in the old days. Back on Coney Island, it's...
One day somebody will care enough about our theories and make a what if. One day.
I mean, she's got enough plot armor. We've seen that over 60 years. I mean,
yeah, and honestly, really, at this
They're going
point...
to cross over into the DC universe one last time for a Lazarus Pit for Aunt May. Mark my words.
She don't even need it, man. She's got
penicillin and the power and willpower. That's right.
no. It's Marvel. Radiation from that nuclear explosion back in issue 131.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That fur coat was full of radiation and saved her life.
She's been... Because sometimes radiation kills you, sometimes it just makes you live forever. And that's why there's no OSHA. Because... Why would you? Gotta take that risk.
Take that lottery ticket.
Exactly.
So letter grade, Philip?
All right, I'll take it.
I think I gotta give this a B. Like you said, it's fun. I mean, yeah, some of it makes no sense at all, but yeah, for the 70s, it's a really fun story. So, yeah, I'll give it a straight up B.
I'm gonna grade on I like Doc Ock, so obviously it's a superior book right there. I'm gonna go A-. They had me until they blew up the island. And it's like, you don't need to do that, man. I know you have only so many pages, but you could leave them fighting on the island and not blow everyone up, It's whatever you were planning to do, I don't know what you were planning to do.
Or the Canadian military shows up or something. They're like, oh, we got to get out of here, see?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why are you guys flying into our airspace? Why are all these planes flying in and out, Why are helicopters landing at our secret nuclear research location? You think we don't watch these things, man?
Or Shield.
Send in Wolverine.
I know. Shield or somebody shows up. Oh, yeah. Oh, 74. Yeah.
That would be a great little retcon in this. It's like the Wolverine shows up. And
what are you doing here, bub?
Get out of here. Oh, this is all. I guess I should blow up the plant now and get rid of this attractive nuisance.
Adamantium skeleton and claws versus adamantium head.
Yeah, although, there's still skin on the outside in both cases, so it's like...
Yeah, but Wolverine has a healing factor. Does Hammerhead?
No, he does not. Sadly, no.
All right, Lilith, what did you grade it?
Oh, I'll give it a solid B as in boy plus, for sure.
Oh, giving it
just wacky fun. I miss when we were able to just pull off stuff like this without too much thought, let's have them do that. Now it's like, oh, we got to plan out this big old event and this crossover that has to go through every book.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they tried to do this today?
Although, to be fair, they were building this for a year, and then they just, do one issue. It's like, I need 4 or 5 issues. I need a 6-issue arc.
You're used to modern comics now. That's the formula. That's how they get you. That's how they
But you get so much more resolution. You don't just blow up the island for no reason. And it would be, that's the problem.
And it would be its own miniseries, The Wedding of Dr. Octopus.
It should at least been a giant size. I will give you that.
Yeah, I mean, you needed 6 more pages just to.
But it was not a big number.
What?
So it was 130. It was like 131, so it wasn't like a 150 or anything. So,
Oh, yeah.
they couldn't really justify it back then being an oversized or anything like that.
So is this is this where the 80s movies got the idea, man? You got to like walk or fly away from a huge explosion at the end of an adventure?
Put your sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, when did this actually predates Star Wars. So yeah, this is where the idea came from.
Nice.
My God, Canada was the Death Star.
Yeah, as it is. It is.
Whoa!
Very bad security. I agree. So I think you should give the kids the homework.
Oh yeah, all right, kids. So for next,
What's on the thwipping list, Philip?
let me pull it up here. Hey, see, I should really have these up ahead of time.
You should really write these on note cards. So
Well,
it's
I have it on the
it's
computer.
there.
I have it on the computer. It just takes.
Yes, but you have to go through the computer.
Well, I know
You
where
need-
it's at. It just takes a minute for it to pop up. Here we
You
go.
used to have a list, Philip. What happened?
I do
You
have a
actually
list.
have
It's on the
list.
computer. It just takes the
No, you
computer.
used to have it hanging. I remember.
Yeah, you used to have a piece of paper.
I had the social medias and stuff, but not the issues.
He's being all sci-fi. He's trying to be like Dr. Octopus. He needs to go old school, like Hammerhead.
Don't turn into a Doombot.
There's too much security on this computer. All right. Yeah, next time, how did Otto come back after he got killed in the Clone Saga? Find out in Amazing Spider-Man 426 through 428. And
Wait, did he come back from this or from something? in the
no,
Clone Saga?
something else.
No,
No,
this is a
This is a
wild
whole
after
other
this.
comeback.
he got killed in the 90s by Kane during the Clone Saga. Got his neck
Okay.
snapped.
Clone
Yeah.
Saga.
All right, so, and then in 2 weeks, again, another Scarlet Spider episode with me and the boys from Web of Scarlet
Oh,
Spider
God.
number 2. What? Amazing
What are
Scarlet
the Scarlet Pimps up to now?
Web of Scarlet Spider 2, Amazing Scarlet Spider 2, Green Goblin 3, Scarlet Spider number 2, and Spectacular Scarlet Spider number 2. Come on, Ben Reilly's big these days. Come on. Our next Sorcerer Supreme, Lil.
One could
Wah.
wish, one could hope.
If young Doctor Strange can let it go.
Or if Wanda doesn't just blow everything to smithereens.
It's going to be Wong, man. You mark my words. It is Wong.
I hope so, because we need that
Because
recipe.
Wong is the one who doesn't want it, and he's going to be like, why is the Eye of Agamotto being given to me? I have to kill this stupid young Doctor Strange? I got to punch Ben Reilly with my karate? I don't want to do this. This is a hard job.
He's like, I just want to read in peace.
I want to read and make tea. Is that so hard to understand?
That's
It's like,
right.
no, you have to be Sorcerer Supreme now.
That's right. You were
Sorry, Wong.
That's right, Charlie Esser. I predict you were going to be totally Wong. All right. So yes. So send your thoughts on the upcoming stuff or security on nuclear facilities in Canada. Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Remember, we're on the Capes and Lunatics podcast now, not the Sidekicks, see? That's all DC. So find...
Oh, poor DC.
What?
They're the sidekicks? Oh, man.
Well, that's where most of our DC
Well,
shows
let's
were at
just
anyway.
to be fair.
Oh!
They're lucky we're not doing all image at this point.
Oh! So before we get to that, yes, find links to all the social medias for all the shows, links to this YouTube channel, links to the Patreon. Again, more important than ever, we're paying our own way now. Dad's kicked us out of the house, so please, anything you can contribute, and pick up merch, shirts, cups, phone cases. See, of course, Lilith Hellfire is a drink candy. Links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capes and lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire. If anyone wants to talk to you about 70s comics, where can they talk to you?
Just real quick, to be fair, it's never too early or too late for a mimosa because it has orange juice. It's healthy. If you want to debate that fact with me on the interwebs, find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course on TikTok, making comments and only Star Trek related content because I'm a nerd at Lilith Hellfire69.
It doesn't feel right, bro. It's a giant sized man thing.
Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way the way our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, and I can get the channel in because I'm on broadcast now, @Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE. Yes, SER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
And can you inherit a nuclear reactor?
It's legally admissible evidence.
Especially in another country? It was just all kinds of weird.
DA Mods has spoken.
Oh, it's going to be taxed. That's the thing. It's like you're going to have to sell the nuclear
Especially on the
power plant
Canadian side.
to pay. Well, exactly, because they don't believe in that wealth transference. But you'll still get a nice sum out of the deal. You sell the plant, you pay the tax, you got that good, cold hard few $1 billion, and then you call it a day.
You go live in Switzerland and get amnesia.
Yeah, exactly. Go put it in one of those little Swiss banks. They got tons of them.
Thank you, kids. Remember, next time, Amazing Spider-Man 426 through 428, and then in 2 weeks, Scarlet Pimp's Ride again. Oh, wait. I have some inside info. Wait till you guys hear what that Ray Ray's been up to. But until then, swing on back.
Flip, flip!
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your Khonshu on.